Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how I use the web soil survey to kind of quickly classify land, see if it's valuable for me to use as a farming or for one of our clients to use. So let's go ahead and jump in. I'm going to show you what we do here. So first, when I'm looking at a soil, I'm going to pull up the property and just look it over in Google Maps usually. And so this is a piece of property here which I've been looking at for a while now. This is kind of there. And there's really no address though on it. So what I'll do with this first is go ahead and right click on that, and what that brings me up is this right here. It allows me to ask what's here. Click on that, and then that shows me the address, and then it also shows me the latitude and longitude. So that's what I want there, so I'm going to go ahead and copy that. Then we'll go over here to our web soil survey, and you can click on this button which says start it. Alright, so now we've got this open, and so this allows us to then take a look at all the different ways to find property here. So I'm just going to click down to latitude and longitude, and then go ahead and paste that information right in there, hit view. Alright, so we popped it up. So we'll probably want to go ahead and zoom in, zoom out. You can pan with this one, so just drag it around. And you can measure as well. And so we'll go ahead and zoom in a bit. Just pull that up a little bit closer. There we go. That's relatively close. We'll want to zoom on that a bit right there so we can get a little more. All right, then we're going to use this tool right here, which is to kind of define what we're looking at. And you can define it either with just a rectangle, but we're going to go ahead and use the polygon. So start clicking around it, clicking down to where I'm looking at the land here, up to about there, and then close it by double clicking. So that will go ahead and create that AOI. So it's about 15.5 acres. And then let's kind of go over here to this soil map. And in the soil map, it will show us the different types of soil there. So you can see this is the FMA, and so that's a fox silt loam. Let's take about 8 acres of that. So let's take a look at that. Well, it's actually prime farmland, so that's really good. Shows us the frost-free period. Shows us kind of the settings, the landform. So it's a stream terrace, so it's technically something that could flood at some point probably. But then you can also usually look at where it asks if it will flood. So frequency of flooding, none. Frequency of ponding, none. So even though it is on the river, which is right to the south of that property, it doesn't flood. And then we can kind of look at the makeup of that soil too. So we got silt loam, clay loam, and as you get further down, it gets into coarse gravelly sand to gravelly coarse sand. Let's kind of go back to this, and if you saw when we zoomed out, actually, this is an old sand pit over here. So that classification makes a lot of sense, and so that's one of the other things we'll look at when we're looking at a piece of property is look at land around it just to make sure it makes sense in the middle of it, because I have seen classifications where they're slightly off. But let's go ahead and zoom back in a bit more. I want to figure out what this bottom soil here, the RS. So that's a raw silt loam, and that probably, if we scroll down, it says it will sometimes flood occasionally. So that's something we wouldn't want to be putting our high value vegetables on, or like our high tunnels, because it could flood. Be more suited for pasture. So, all right, so we got that. Let's also show you another feature which I really like on this is the measuring. So if I want to just measure, how big this property is for like a greenhouse or something, I can just measure across there, and that will show me it's about 728 feet across. So that really gives me a good idea of what's going on. Another thing I wanted to show you, let's kind of just go out. Let's go back to the area of interest, and let's go ahead and zoom out a bit. And let's say that you just were interested in an area, but you didn't know which soil there was good. So you're going to go ahead and use this AOI thing. Let's say you want to be in this area here. We'll go ahead and just grab this entire area there. It'll go ahead and create that and tell us how many acres. So that's 2,370 acres in that area. And then we'll go ahead and go over here to Soil Data Explorer. Then we'll go down here to land classifications. So if you notice right now, it shows us the different soil types, but gosh, who has time to click on all of those and figure out what is good and what's not? Well, if you go to Farmland Classification and then click on View Rating, that allows you to really quickly look at, oh, these green areas here are good and these red areas are not good soils. for farming. And so you can kind of see that too, that lighter green, which is a different classification as well. But it allows you to easily, look at a large area and figure out where you should be devoting your effort to, acquiring land and that sort of thing. So the other thing you can do with this is you can actually print out stuff too and download stuff. So if you're doing a report for a client, or if you're just, presenting something to like that, and what you can do is you click on this. It allows you to put a whole table of contents in there, the different solo map, the legends, the references, and then you just click on check out, and that will go ahead and download, let's say like a 15-page report or something, and then generate that. All right, so now this went ahead and kicked this out, and as you can see, it kind of gives you a whole lot of information that may or may not be helpful, but again, it breaks down all those soil types for you. That kicked out a 52-page report. So obviously, may be helpful or may not be, but it kind of shows you all the different aspects of that, the map legend. So yeah, I hope that is helpful for you guys. Have any more questions, feel free to ask them below in the comments, and we'll do another video for you. All right, have a great day.